Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. There is now a set date on the hearing, and this is going to be pretty interesting because many people have stated this will be the end game. And once they get through this part, it'll move on to the next round. The next round, a lot of people are looking forward to, myself included, because of who may be involved, but you know, when it gets there, we'll talk about that. But thing is, you have Sean Lemoyne over here with his chimney wheezing voice stating that the hearing on the defendants Monica Real and Ron Toy's date has been set to Friday, September 6, 2019 at 10 o'clock a.m. Yeah. So, of course, they've agreed to this, so this is the date. It is set in motion. So we will see how everything turns out from there. But the big thing is that is important here is that there could be another hearing after this. But this seems like it will be a very big one, so we'll see what happens there. But next thing to look at, there are some new filings here. The first one is by Karen Mika. Now, why this is bizarre is because this is her second filing. So, as you know, she already had one in the TCPA, but here's another one. Very strange. But what she tries to state within this filing here is that Funimation had no control over what Monica Real and Jamie Markey had said, that Funimation doesn't have control over what their voice actors or employees have to say. Well, obviously we already know that that's not true, considering that there is a group of emails out there that was from Monica to Funimation asking permission to be able to say things about Vic, despite the fact that they were said not to. So Funimation allowed it. But this is Karen Mika trying to state that, oh no, they don't have anything to do with what Monica and Jamie and any other employees of Funimation have to say. Yeah, those emails tend to say otherwise. So let's jump into what this has to say here, starting at number 2. I am Vice President of Operations at Funimation Productions LLC. I have worked for Funimation since March 2016. As Vice President of Operations, I am in charge of distribution and production of the dubbed anime videos produced by Funimation. In doing so, I oversee Funimation's contracting with voice actors, including with plaintiff Vic Mignogna and with Monica Real and Jamie Markey. For that reason, I am personally familiar with the business, relationship between Funimation and Mignogna, Real, and Markey, including the scope of services Mignogna, Real, and Markey provided to Funimation and how they are compensated by Funimation. In addition, I am the ultimate decision maker at Funimation with respect to any decision by the company to terminate its business relationship with any of its voice actors. Okay, so here's what's strange. If you had this ability to terminate the business relationship, then why didn't you do it sooner, and why did Sony have to get involved before it happened? You see, this story is already starting to sound a bit strange, but to add to that, if you remember last year during the summer, there was also an investigation on Vic, and then there was a second one, and the second one was the one that got him kicked out over the stupid jelly bean comment. And yes, if you haven't heard, yes, he was kicked out over a dumb jelly bean comment. But then again, that investigation was shady to start with. But moving forward, on or about January 16th, 2019, in my role as Vice President of Operations at Funimation, I was made aware of negative media and social media attention surrounding Vic Mignogna after the release of Dragon Ball Super Broly. In my role as Funimation's Vice President of Operations, I was responsible for directing Funimation's Human Resources Manager, Shrina Simon, to contact Sony Pictures Entertainment to request an investigation of Vic Mignogna, which Ms. Simon did. Because of my job duties and my involvement in requesting the investigation, I am aware that Tammy Dembo at Sony Pictures Entertainment conducted an investigation of Vic Mignogna. Tammy Dembo reported the results of her investigation to me, and I was the person who made the decision to terminate Mr. Mignogna's contract with Funimation as a result of the investigation. I was the person at Funimation who communicated Funimation's decision to terminate him to Mr. Mignogna via telephone. If anything, I find this whole entire thing just completely irrelevant. This entire statement is just her basically gloating about how she got rid of Vic Mignogna, and that's all it really sounds like, besides her also saying that she's the vice president of operations. So it just seemed like she was going, "It was me. I fired him. It was me. Me. And that's it. And it feels like nothing more than a recap of Tammy Dimbo's report as well. That's really it. It doesn't seem like there's anything relevant here at all. And I just find this statement right here pointless because that's all it really is. And it's nothing more than, like I stated, a recap from Tammy Dimbo's report. So, continuing onward. As stated above, Jamie Marchi and Monica Rial provide voice acting services to Funimation from time to time on an independent contractor basis. A true and correct copy of Miss Marchi's current work for hire actors agreement with Funimation is attached to my report as Exhibit A. True and correct copies of Miss Rial's current work for hire actors agreements are attached to my report as Exhibits B and C. The reference exhibits have been redacted to exclude Miss Marchi's and Miss Rial's home addresses, social security numbers, and hourly rates. Funimation did not control or direct any of the Twitter or other social media posts made by Jamie Marchi or Monica Rial about Vic Mignogna. Okay, yeah, that's pretty funny because, as I stated, I think those emails tend to say otherwise. That's funny. Yeah, defend that. Anyways, moving forward. Nor did Funimation control or direct any other communications made by Jamie Marchi or Monica Rial about Vic Mignogna. Okay, yeah, sure. I so totally do not believe you. I don't believe what you have to say in this statement. I also do not even believe this whole thing at all right here whatsoever. I mean, the proof is there. The emails exist. And they're out there. They're known. So, why should I believe anything this says right here? Why should the court believe that, considering that the emails are out there? You see, that completely throws this entire statement under the bus already. You want me to tell you what I get from this? This is what I get from this. The whole thing is basically just states is, oh, well, Funimation had no control over what the employees had to say. Yeah, you didn't really succeed there. But it also shows the work for hire agreements here. I'm not really going to keep them up for very long because they don't really say much except for NDA agreements and all that. So, but they were in this. So, but we're going to skip ahead to the next file here. And the next file is the file of Scott Barreto. Now, this one is most certainly a very interesting case to look at here. And we're going to go over this one because there's a lot here to discuss as well. So look at old Scotty boy here. He is apparently the senior director of public relations at Funimation Productions. So that's an interesting thing to look at. So let's go ahead and look at what he has to say. I am Senior Director of Public Relations at Funimation Productions LLC, which position I have held since September 2018. I have provided public relations related services to Funimation since 2015. As Senior Director of Public Relations at Funimation, I am familiar with Funimation's media and social media related activities, and I monitor media and social media posts related to Funimation in my job. I am the Chief Spokesperson for Funimation. Wow, all that in such a short amount of time. I handle all outbound and inbound media inquiries for Funimation. I routinely draft press releases and press statements and review communications for Funimation's Twitter account at Funimation, which necessarily requires me to have knowledge of what is going on at Funimation with respect to its productions, its talent, and its corporate policies as part of my day-to-day activities at the company. Well, I can tell, Scotty boy, you're doing a real fine job of that. Apparently, you just allow, Jamie Marchi, for example, to go around and, I don't know, antagonize fans. Yeah, because that sounds like the ideal thing to do. Just let your employees just run around and say hurtful things to people and upset them. Yeah, no, that sounds like the perfect thing to be doing. No, seriously, what are you doing? I mean, what does your job really include? I mean, does anybody ever think that he sits over here and would DM Jamie and say, hey, you shouldn't be saying these kind of things because, it's not a good look for our image. No, it doesn't seem like he says that because apparently she's run rampant and said these things and continue to say these things. So, you know, but does it really seem like he's doing his job? Because to me, I don't think so. But, I'm just saying. Anyways, continuing on. As chief spokesperson for Funimation, my job duties also require me to be aware of all media attention related to Funimation's productions and talent, including media attention to voice actors who appear at Funimation's productions. So what I get from this statement alone is that you are aware of what goes on with all the voice actors. So let me get this straight. So when somebody goes around and they start saying things they're not supposed to be saying, from what I'm getting here is that you can tell them not to say these things. I mean, if you look at the way that some of them have acted, like Jamie Markey and Sean Schimmel, and how they act like a bunch of clowns and just act the way they act and say the things they say. You mean to tell me that when you see this happen on social media presences, you just let this happen rather than tell them not to say these things? I mean, I would think that you'd be better at that. Better at telling them not to say these things. Yeah, it doesn't sound like you're doing your job too well if that turns out to be the case, because that's not very good. Not very good at all. So, are you at least documenting what they're saying and then saying to the higher ups, hey, these are things that they're saying, and they should not be saying these things, and then they do something about it? Because it doesn't seem like you're doing your job too well, from what I'm seeing. Yeah. Okay, moving forward. In my job, I regularly and actively monitor print and online media related to Funimation's business, including business trade press, online news, and press about the anime industry and community. I do so by performing searches, e.g. Google, and by regularly checking the websites for online publications and media outlets such as Anime News Network. Polygon. Okay. IO9, Screen Rant, Newsweek, and Variety, among others. Oh. That's hilarious. Because each one of these sites that he brings up, they also cited, so their relevance to them. They cited each one of these sites. So that's actually hilarious. So, also, saying that he checks out Google as well, so that means that Scotty must be watching everybody that makes content on this whole entire thing. So hey, Scotty, I hope you're enjoying the content we're all making on this case. But anyways, so moving forward. My job duties also require me to monitor social media on a regular basis for information related to Funimation by using social media monitoring tools such as Social Studio, TweetDeck, and Listen First. Interesting. In the performance of my job duties at Funimation during 2019, I regularly monitored media and social media resources for information related to Mignogna. Yeah, so they obviously paid attention to what Mignogna had said or done. So, of course, they're going to cite this in just a moment. We'll get to that. With all that I had mentioned prior, it began to receive media and social media attention in January 2019 with the publication of articles by Anime News Network and Polygon.com, as well as tweets and social media posts from members of the anime community. Examples of such media attention were attached to my prior report. During the same time and through today, supporters of Mignogna, many of them who adopted the hashtag #IStandWith and went after the anime community. Oh yeah, because, they gotta go after the hashtag #StandWith supporters. Make them sound like they're the villains and how the KV people, oh yeah, they're the good guys. So overall, apparently, they can't help but always have to paint the picture that the #StandWith supporters, that they're the villains. They always have to make that out there. That's the only thing they can lean on in defense, of course. And that the KVs are the sweet little angels that can never do anything wrong. Yeah, okay, sure, whatever. Alright, continuing on. By late January, Funimation had received inquiries on social media and from the media whether Funimation intended to take any action or make any statement with respect to Mignogna. Due to the continued publicity surrounding Mignogna, including the things against him about inappropriate treatment of women referenced in the online media attached to my prior report, Funimation decided to issue a short statement via Twitter regarding its decision to end its relationship with Mignogna. Of course, in which they did on February 11th, 2019. Now, a big important thing comes up right here because this is where they bring up the tweet that I was saying. Now, this is important because this tweet, by what they're saying here, what Scott is saying here is this tweet was supposed to make the anime community be more civil with one another because they've been fighting, obviously, because of the situation. So he believes that the origin of this tweet was to help calm down the anime community and make things better, and that everybody would take them seriously, but nobody took them seriously. This is what they state. The purpose of this additional tweet was to respond to the continued heated back and forth among anime fans about Mignogna. It was an effort to encourage civility in the anime community. Funimation nowhere stated or implied in any of its tweets that Mignogna had engaged in any issues or otherwise. I am aware of the purpose of Funimation's tweets because I drafted them for the company in my role of Senior Director of Public Relations. Yeah, but the thing is, these tweets, nobody took them seriously, and people were asking you questions, and all you did was made it worse. I mean, did you really expect this tweet to make anything any better? Because, yeah, it really didn't, and it just made the anime community more upset. So, you're saying that you were trying to make things better, but in reality, that's not what you were doing. You were just making things worse. And to think that by this time somebody would take you seriously after all the things that had already gone on, yeah, that wasn't going to happen. That's just, there's no way that would have ever happened. Besides, whenever they go on to state this, and let me read this off for you, Funimation's February 11, 2019 tweets were truthful. In my role of Senior Director of Public Relations for Funimation, I am aware that an investigation of Mignogna was conducted, that Funimation recast Mr. Mignogna for Morose Mononoke in 2, and that Funimation will not be engaging Mr. Mignogna in future productions. Yeah, and the thing is, I think Funimation might actually be afraid, because this case is not leaning in their favor. And not only is it not leaning in their favor, but more things just keep coming out constantly, daily. And, you know, looking at it, I mean, and seeing all of this, even though it was just little stuff here, there's going to be so much more to come. I mean, Ty Beard stuff's going to come up soon, and I gotta say, I'm personally excited to see that one, and I'm sure many other people are as well. And, you know, looking at it as well, you're going to have Monica probably pull up in her little clown car with all her lawyers, and there's going to be some kind of circus sideshow that they're going to throw on that's just going to be probably the craziest thing we'll hear again, because, you know, every time they pop up, it seems that something wacky happens. So, you know, looking at it, it's kind of a funny thing to see. But I wanted to cover this. I felt like this was important, and I will continue to cover more on this case as more comes out. And, you know, it's going to be interesting to see where this continues to go, and especially since there is a hearing date now. So that'll be something. But also, I've got a second video coming out today and a third. So look out for those. The next one's another bit of news that is pretty spicy. So I'll be talking about that as well. But anyways, let me know what you think down below about this whole entire situation. I'd love to hear your thoughts. But anyways, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, hit the video with a like, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, share this video with your friends if you found this informative or useful, and follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today, and remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you, and have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.